Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Showseph. As always, I'm your hostef with the mostef, Joseph. And this week, we're talking about boys. We're talking to the boys. According to YouTube, 96% of you are boys. I'm talking to you guys. This was us. We're all together in this. Listen, I was once a former boy. I'm only 27 years old, so I'm still kind of a boy, but I know what it's like being a boy. And I want to talk about my experience as a boy and some of the experiences I see of the boys today. This isn't going to be like offering advice or telling people what they should be doing or how they should be acting. This isn't the point of this. Isn't the goal of the Showseph is to change people's minds or to convince people of what to do. The point of the Showseph is to be a Showseph featuring Joseph and me talking about stuff. And this is what I want to talk about today, because I think I see a lot on the internet and in the media and the culture, a lot of conflicting views and opinions and people conjecturing what a boy should be doing. They should be starting a business, or they should be gambling, or they should be getting married, or they should be staying single, or they should be staying home, or they should be going to the club, or they should be jerking off. All of that it's all a lot of noise and a lot of people with little to no authority telling people what they think they should be doing, even though a lot of people, they don't realize it's all for the goal of selling something a lot of the time, or it's for manipulation of the masses, for a change in culture, to create a movement, or all of that. It's not taking into consideration what is realistic for an individual's life and what is actually going to produce the best outcome for that person. And what if you watch previous episodes, or if you watch my podcast, The P-Boys, a lot of what I talk about is just you should be doing things that you, in your reality, think are the right thing to do. Obviously, there's points where you should be stepping in and intervening if you see something that is going out of control that could potentially harm or lead to bad outcomes, or to inflict some sort of pain on other persons. You should be intervening in a boy's life to avoid that. But I think that there's also some points where parents, authority, other figures, and advise on something that really there's no reason that they should be advising over. Like I spoke recently on my podcast, The P-Boys. My co-host was talking about growing up, haircuts. Haircuts is a big thing. A lot of parents, a lot of schools, a lot of authority figures, they don't like the long hair. It's always been an issue. It's been an issue in my life. It's been an issue in a lot of people I know's lives. The hair is always a big thing. And I think if you're a parent or an authority figure getting caught up on the length of a boy's hair, that will cause the boy to feel as though you are getting so attached to this thing that ultimately doesn't mean that much, and it's going to make them trust you less and less the older they get. Being in my early 20s, it was very, very confusing, and I'm sure it's very confusing for a lot of guys I know who are a bit younger than me too, because you have a lot of different voices telling you that you should go this, you should do this, you should go this way, or you should act like this, you should pursue this, and the multitude of voices and people telling you and making recommendations that maybe you don't agree with or you don't feel apply to you. And I think all the conflicting opinions and voices that are telling you what you should be doing may cause some resentment down the line of making you feel as though I'm pursuing these things that are out of my control and that are what other people are telling me I should be doing, or what people on the internet are doing, or people who are out of my sphere, when in reality, I just want to be doing X, Y, Z, whatever that is. And this isn't, I'm not trying to put anyone in a box or say like, this is the answer. I think this could be pushing the wrong path, the wrong message to a lot of young men, and make them feel as though they're never going to grow out of being a little boy. They're just going to be told and instructed on what to do their entire lives. There's this teen kid I know. I see him around sometimes. He tells me he watches my content, and he's told me I've had run-ins with him. I ran into him one time. He told me he was under the influence of alcohol, and he was just going out, and he was just looking for stuff to do. You might think, oh, you should intervene, you should step in, and you should tell this kid, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be at home or studying or whatever. But then they're not gonna take that information. It's just gonna make them want to do it more. It's just gonna make them feel more empowered to lead in that life and to trust you less, because now you're impeding in what they want to do. Obviously, if this kid was going around and he was, drugging girls in their drinks and trying to take advantage of them, you should step in. But if the options are staying home, scrolling on TikTok, or going out and like having some fun, finding some adventure. You got to go out and find some adventure. I personally don't drink or partake in any alcohol or drugs of that kind, but I'm not going to be the one telling someone you should do it this way because that's what I do. I don't think that's going to cause a positive outcome in that person. It's not going to cause them to view you in a positive way. It's just going to make them think you're the enemy or you're trying to control me. You don't have my best interest in mind. I think they should be finding out for themselves what works best for them. You can take your lived experiences and you can tell someone about it, but until they really experience it themselves, they're not going to feel any attachment to that. They're just going to assume I can do it better than you, so I'm not going to worry about what happened to you. And then eventually, if something bad happens to them, they might change their way. Or if something bad never happens to them, then they're fine. Why would they stop doing what they're doing? They're just living their life. They're at their peace. They enjoy it. They feel good. Maybe they're more comfortable. Why are you to step in the way of the person and put them into a different path that may be more suitable for your life? But this kid, I invited him to one of our comedy shows. He said he couldn't come because his parents wouldn't let him go. And I understand, your parents, they have authority over you. You live in their house. If you drive their car, if you, whatever, they give you food, they give you whatever, you should listen to them. But also, parents, come on. You got to let your kids, do stuff. You got to let them experience things. They're getting to staying home too much. It's not going to be good for them. They need to have the lived experiences. Because in the minute they are out of your house, they're not going to want to come back. And maybe that's what you want. I don't know. But I feel like if you wanted that, you would let them go out to places. And this isn't me just being mad that his parents wouldn't let him come to our show. I get it. You don't want this. Who am I? Your kid's going to come to a comedy show. It's kind of a weird thing. Comedy in itself, it's weird. Nobody really goes to comedy anymore. People don't, unless it's like a big name. I'm not Dave Chappelle. Why would you come to my free comedy show? But I think it's a principle of if you have some interest in something and you want to try it out or you want to go see it or partake in it, meet some people, what's the harm in going once? This is something I've talked about a lot in previous episodes. It's the social anxiety or the social fear of going out of your comfort zone, going up to the people that you want to talk to and actually talking to them, or going to a place or trying a new thing without having the fear of ridicule, or I'm new at this, I'm new at comedy, or I'm new at jiu-jitsu, or I'm new at whatever. I shouldn't even go and try and do it because someone might be judgmental of me. Someone might say I'm doing it wrong, or they might feel like I'm why am I doing this, why am I think it's all just in your head. And I'm sure there are people who will feel that way. If you go out and do anything, if you go out and make a video, there's going to be people commenting and criticizing. And that's just how it is. But I think the criticism should be coming from the action itself, not precluding the action. Before you even go about and do something, you're already being told you shouldn't be doing something. I think the criticism should come after the thing has been done. Like if you're going to the club, you're like, you're not allowed to go to the club. It's just going to make the kids want to go to the club even more. And then they go to the club and then they're going to get in some trouble. And then you say, this is what I told you. Or if you say, hey, you can go to the club, just be careful, they're going to go to the club and they'll probably have a good time. They'll probably be fine. And if they do get in trouble, they do get mixed up in some shit, just tell them, hey, let's work on that. We don't have to, it's not a good idea to bury people like that, or especially with the boys, because then the boys are just going to, like I said, feel resentful, feel like they're being talked down to, feel like they're out of place, like they're never going to make something of themselves. And that's just not the case. Like you shouldn't be impeding on anyone's ability to do anything. So look, if you're a boy, send this to your parents and tell your parents, look, the Showseph says you should leave me alone and let me do whatever I want. This is the message of this episode. Within bounds, obviously. You know, don't be going crazy out there. But have some fun, meet some people, talk to some girls. Don't be a creep, don't be a weirdo. And if you are, just learn from it. Like, just, if you're a weirdo every once in a while, like everyone's a weirdo once in a while. But if you are, just learn from it. Hey, this saying this thing didn't work. It's probably not going to work again. Now I know. And maybe it does work, and then you find your wife after. There you go. You found another weirdo. So look, go out, have some adventures, try something new. Don't let people get you down, and subscribe. That's the message of this episode. Subscribe, watch other episodes of the Showseph. Maybe we'll have more like news type episodes. I haven't had a chance to write anything like that lately because I've been working on some other stuff. Go to the BOIZ channel. Go to the Paradizo channel. We got a ton of sketches and videos, public videos, podcasts, whatever you like, all over there. Check them out. This has been the Showseph for this week. I'll see you next time. Big peace.